You're about to spend $600 on a graphics card. It won't fit your case, or it'll fit, then cook itself because the power cable bends against the side panel. That's the small form factor trap. It's why the best GPU and the best small form factor GPU are completely different questions. In a normal tower, you can usually fix a bad GPU choice with more fans, more space, or a messier cable run. In a small form factor build, you don't get that luxury. 3 numbers decide your build: card length, slot thickness, and how the power cable bends. Not core counts, not benchmark scores, 3 numbers. I've got 4 picks: the best for most people, the best for high performance, the best for slim cases, and best for tight budgets, all linked in the description for current prices. Stick around for the last 90 seconds. That's where I cover the 5 mistakes that kill SFF builds no matter which card you pick. The one about VRAM has probably already cost some of you money. So let's start with the card that solves the most problems at once. 200mm, 2-slot, 160 watts, single 8-pin. That's it. That's the entire reason this is my top pick. 16 gigs of VRAM, strong 1080p, real 1440p gaming, and it fits in almost any mini ITX case you'd actually want to build in. Most compact budget cards in this price range are still stuck at 8 gigs. In 2026, that's a downgrade you'll feel inside a year. The honest caveat: it's AMD. If you need DLSS, CUDA for creator work, or you obsess over ray tracing, look at a compact RTX 5070 instead. The ASUS Dual or Gigabyte WINDFORCE OC SFF, but check thickness too, because these are still roughly 2.5 slot cards. But for most SFF gaming builds, the Reaper is the smart move. Current price is in the description, and don't forget that GPU prices are moving fast, so check before you click buy. Now, if your case can handle real heat, the next one is a different conversation. Here's where people get burned. They see RTX 5070 Ti, grab whatever's in stock, then discover their case won't take a 3-slot 330mm brick. The Zotac Solid SFF is the cleanest 5070 Ti I'd put in a real SFF build. Still long, 304mm, but it's a true 2-slot card at 41mm thick. And that still long part matters. Don't hear SFF and think tiny. This is a compact for the performance class, not compact compared to every GPU on the market. Quick reality check. The Gigabyte WINDFORCE OC SFF has SFF in the name, same length, but it's 2.5 slots and 50mm thick. That extra 9mm, it's the difference between closing your side panel and not. This is the pick if you want 1440p high refresh, light 4K with DLSS, or serious creator work in a compact box. But know what you're signing up for: 300 watts, a 12-volt 2x6 power connector, and a card that needs real airflow. If your case is a quiet box with one intake fan, this isn't your GPU. The case decides what fits, never the other way round. Real quick, if either of those first 2 picks just saved you from buying the wrong card, hit like. It's the only signal that gets more SFF content made. Now, that's the high-performance route, but some small PCs aren't mini ITX gaming cases at all. Some are slim office boxes, and that changes everything. If your case is a slim Dell, HP, or Lenovo office box, almost every gaming GPU on the market is instantly disqualified. This one isn't. True half-height, 3 fans, low-profile bracket in the box, modern Blackwell GPU with DLSS 4, 8 gigs of GDDR7, enough power for real 1080p gaming, not just basic display output. This is genuinely the only low-profile gaming card worth recommending in 2026. But here's the trap that catches people. Low profile doesn't mean works in every office PC. It still needs an 8-pin PCIe power cable. A lot of slim pre-builds don't have one. Pop your side panel off and check before you order. If your office box is slot power only, no extra cable, the PowerColor RX 6400 low profile is the safe fallback. Much weaker, but it actually works. which is the whole point. So the rule here is simple. If your case forces low profile and you have the power cable, get the Gigabyte RTX 5060 low profile. If you don't have the cable, stop chasing performance and buy the card your system can actually power. Now let's talk about the category where people overspend the fastest: budget compact GPUs. About 197mm, 145 watts, single 8-pin, DLSS 4. It's the easy plug-and-play compact card for tight budgets. This makes sense for 1080p gaming, esports, lighter single-player games, and small builds where you want something simple, efficient, and easy to fit. The catch is the same as every 5060, only 8 gigs of VRAM. Fine for 1080p esports and lighter games, not a future-proof 1440p pick. So here's the simple test. If the RX 9060 XT 16GB is within $50 of this card where you live, jump to the 9060 XT, always. The extra VRAM is worth more than the savings. The Sparkle Arc B570 is the Wildcard, about $100 cheaper with 10 gigs of VRAM, but it's a longer card and Intel drivers still have edge cases in older games. Get it only if you're comfortable troubleshooting, not if you want to install and forget. And now that you know the 4 cards that make sense, here's the part that matters just as much: the mistakes that can ruin any of them. 1. Card length and slot thickness aren't the same spec. A 250mm card that's 3 slots thick will still murder your build. 2. The power cable matters as much as the card. A 12-pin connector that bends sharp against the panel is a failure point. Some cases need 30mm of clearance behind it. Check. 3. Don't drop a 300-watt card in a 12-liter case with 1 fan. Small cases handle heat, but only when airflow has somewhere to go. 4. Don't buy 8 gigs of VRAM in 2026 if the 16 gig option is within $50. Just don't. 5. Don't buy for a monitor you don't own. If you're gaming at 1080p, a 5070 Ti is just expensive heat. Put that money in a better case instead. The real rule: pick the case first, measure length, thickness, height, cable clearance, then pick the card. That's how you avoid the classic SFF mistake: building a beautiful tiny PC around a GPU that technically fits, but never runs the way you hoped. If you're stuck between picks, drop your case model in the comments. I try to read all of them, and I'll tell you exactly which of these 4 to grab. And if you're building the whole system, the best mini ITX motherboards video you see on the screen is next. The motherboard decides your case layout, cooling, and upgrade path, and the GPU is only half the fit problem.